Hello, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day.
It's tomorrow, but we are celebrating this whole week of love, and tomorrow is the grand finale of this love week.
So perhaps you all would want to have a look at this beautiful surprise that Sansari has made for me. And I didn't know any
It was
about
for
this.
them, not for you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, the surprise that they made for you. So I was out in the evening. I went out to a
It was
read.
the most difficult to
Yeah.
get them out of the house.
Ah.
It's always taking me everywhere. So I had to make so much plan. I pretended I was not interested in talking to him. I started reading a book. I told him to go and get me time.
Yeah.
Mean to him all day so that he leaves.
It wasn't that bad, but no. After I came back, she called me inside the room and she saw me like, oh my God, what is this? I was in stunned silence. And everything from the lighting to look at this. Every single thing with the eye and the music Lalish was also playing. My God.
But a bigger surprise awaits you today. We have a beautiful class to help you share your love, to help you build your love manifesto. Like I said, since Sunday, we have been working on this. Sunday, I gave you some questions to work on to start building on it. Yesterday's session, how many of you attended yesterday's session? How many? Yesterday we did a deep masterclass in love and relationships, unlock the 7 keys, and today is a heart therapy class.
So today we are on after orientation, including the orientation, it's day 3. Otherwise, it's day 2. How many of you have been part of all the sessions so far? Comment in me. You've been part of all the sessions so far.
Don't miss the next classes. I'm telling you, it's going to be an absolute riot, especially tomorrow on Valentine's Day. So today we have an heart class for you where we are going to go right straight to the bottom of your heart through art. So how many of you are excited? Turn on your cameras, guys. You are on a date with yourself. Turn on your cameras for yourself.
All of you, turn on your cameras. Really want to see you. Yes. I mean, it doesn't feel good, to take the session when all I see is just black screens. I want to see your smiling faces, your reactions.
Have a sip of water. Only when cameras are on, then we'll show you what are we going to draw today.
That is true. Yes.
In the end, I also have a very nice surprise for you. I will tell you in the end. Let's draw today. I'm very excited. My love manifesto is going to look even prettier now.
Absolutely. So let's go. All of you here have been part of the class. Is there anyone here who is sitting for the first time? Comment in 1. If you're sitting here in an art class here with me for the first time, comment in 1. Comment in 1 to show it's your first. Otherwise, okay. So all of you here, I see everyone here. I know all of you here. I know. So yes, so I can safely go ahead and tell that all of you here have been part of my classes. Yes. Just give me a time as I join in the call from.
Meanwhile, I want all of you to promise that you'll watch the recordings and start building your manifesto. We had such a fun class yesterday. Please watch the recording. The recording has been shared in your groups by Surya. Today, Surya isn't well. She's on a leave. But she's shared all of them. So go through it and tomorrow also attend. Tomorrow what time? 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. All right. One whole week, 8 p.m. We dedicated for a strong relationship, not for anyone else, but for yourself. That's the beauty.
Till that time, I want you to take a deep breath, exhale, and think about what is your idea of love. What does your heart say? Today we are going to follow that voice of your heart and discover what you truly love. Let's go.
Let's go. So before we start, I want you all to just sit for a while and feel the presence of the book in front of you, the pencil and everything. I just want you to just for a moment, just silently acknowledge that you are now here. And I want you all to tell yourself internally that you're going to sit completely focused for the next 1.5 hours. Yes, all of you, because I found out that this does wonders, and it's a small form of priming, where you sit and you just signal to yourself that okay, this is what you're going to do, and you do that every time. When it's time for a class, I sit just time before and just telling myself internally that I'm going to sit here, I'm going to be taking an amazing class. When it's time to work, when it's time to think, I tell myself, okay, now is the time I have to use my thoughts very efficiently. When it's time to exercise and so on. So it's always, it works wonders to just acknowledge what you're doing right now. And here on your book, I want you all to just take out your pens, whatever you are going to be using. I want you to use that. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to practice just drawing a few rhythmic lines on the paper to help you get into the zone. Okay. So I want you all to, let's just make some small hearts here. Now, how big are these hearts going to be? Don't make them too small, but at the same time, you don't want them to fill the papers. One good measurement will be to somewhat make them like the half the size of your thumb. And I want you to fill the paper with a lot of hearts. So how are you going to do it? So you will see that the most efficient way to fill the paper when you're drawing hearts is to draw it complementary, facing each other. So don't put a lot of thinking into it. Just
Why
end
are
up
you
getting
making
the feeling.
a butt between two hearts?
Let's just sit, and I want you to hear answers. Let's just pay attention to this and make a few nice heart shapes here. Can y'all hear me? Yes. And on we go. And then we just focus on this. Now that we have this, inside this, we'll make a few rhythmic lines, starting with one in where I start drawing vertically. I draw one line and we complete this with Zen lines. So you just make these straight lines, try and get them as parallel to them as possible. And when you do it, come immerse yourself on the paper. Just go completely present in the zone. Go completely present in the zone. And there is absolutely no distraction. You're in a state of complete presence. Pay attention to the line next to it and just focus on pulling the lines. A state of complete involvement and a wholehearted acceptance of what you're doing right now. And it is in fact this acceptance that we call love. What we call as self-love is self-acceptance. And here, we draw parallel. Horizontal lines, make sure that the distance between them are similar. Maybe the lines might go off, but then just try and focus on getting these lines right. It's almost like these lines can measure the way that you're feeling. It can show how much you're here. And we will straight, parallel, horizontal lines. Now that we have drawn a few vertical lines, vertical, horizontal, straight lines, let's try drawing something curved. So inside this heart, I draw another concentric heart shape. Concentric heart shaped. We follow along these and try and keep them as close together as possible. Maintain this look being parallel. Parallel. Try and maintain this gap as equal as possible. And there we go. You can continue to keep doing more and more of these along the sides. You can change the direction, you can play around. Just you're doing, giving yourself a small warm up, following which we will move on to the drawing. So I'll just be sharing the reference image here for you in the group. There you go. So the image has been shared. Can you all see it? Yes. All right. So the image has been shared and you can see it. So that's of course if you want to have a closer look. Otherwise, you can always look at what I'm doing here by simply looking at into the screen. Make sure before we draw that you have this on, you have your screen on speaker mode and it is not on the gallery mode. You want to really see clearly, right? What you're doing. Really want to see clearly. And we begin. So we start by making a small border here. Outside of the paper, we make a small border. Just along the, let me make a small border here. You can use anything scaled or you can even just draw freehand. In fact, this can be a great exercise for you to just move your hand. Just try getting it straight. Just try getting it straight. And parallelly, we draw one here, smoothing it up so you can see clearly. And another one here. Notice how as I draw, I'm holding the grip far away so that I can get that range of the lines. Always we keep changing our grip between close to far, depending upon how much you want to go. Let's say you want to make long lines, you hold a far grip like this. You want to do something close, you keep it closer. And feel free to keep adjusting and as you go along. Now, in this entire drawing, I'm going to basically see that there are these different parts. You see, there is the heart in the very center, which is like the biggest part of this, the clouds, then there is the background, and then there is some of the floor element here. I'm going to first start by dividing this into two half horizontally, two half vertically. So here's one and one. Notice how I'm measuring by holding the pencil, gripping the pencil at one side, holding it, and then moving it up. Hold and move. That's how we do this. We put and we can adjust. Similarly, I also want you to divide this upper half. So now you have the upper half and the lower half. You can number along with me. Just place 1 and 2, right? Now I'm going to divide the upper half into two halves and this lower half also into two equal halves. Make sure that the parts are equal. How to measure the parts are equal? You hold it like this and you can just move. See, if in case it's not matching, let's say I touch and I see that it's not touching each other, then that means this is too much along the bottom. I push it to the top. And here as well. Move this and here. So now you've divided this into four parts. After you've done this, I want you to comment in four. I want to ensure that all of you are here with me. So first, so comment in four after you have made four parts. I'm waiting for you. Four. Let's go. Four. All right. Shweta, Ina, Nazu. How about others? All of you done? Four equal parts. Then here, I'm going to divide this horizontally into two halves. Notice how I'm holding the pencil away. And I'll just start by making a mark. See, here's how you can know if you're dividing it into equal half. I'll make a mark. Okay. And then I'll just measure and see if they're matching. Here you go. I measure this. And there you go. They're matching. Same measure. And they're matching. So that means I know it's a half. If it's not matching, let's say you touch and it's not matching, then you will have to adjust the line accordingly. And you can keep doing this until you get it. You can do the same for the other three lines and connecting it. I just draw a line. It does not have to be a perfectly straight line. We're just estimating the center so that the whole drawing, which is symmetrical, I can draw it equally along both the sides. All right. So now here, I'm going to start putting the parts, start putting the pieces together. The bottom half is where the floor is going to be, all right? The bottom half is where the floor is going to be. So this is the floor. I'm going to leave this untouched. I'll draw a small door. I'll draw a small door along the center of this. And this is probably not as big as this, the second division from the bottom, but just almost there. Now this forms a door. So you're creating a pathway. You're creating a pathway to your heart. And oftentimes it's super important, right? We need to keep connecting. We need to keep connecting with ourselves. And this connection can happen through deep introspection, through a form of meditation or journaling practices. Even art is a great way to really connect with yourself. And another really great way you can connect with yourself is really go deep, find out your values, your strengths, and create something amazing out of it. So now here, we'll draw this heart. As I draw, I look back into my first art classes, when my coaching career really took off. You all would have heard the story that of in 2020, me being a college dropout, starting my first class with only 3 students. Well, looking back now, it all happened because I took a chance, and more importantly, I followed my heart. A lot of times we keep blocking ourselves. We keep blocking ourselves of our potential, of the things that we can do. We believe what others have told about us. Perhaps you too know that you can create amazing impact doing something that you love. But yet we listen to what others say and we keep it locked. Well, I wished back then someone told this to me in the same exact sense. Well, no one did. I had to keep looking out for it on the internet. And my mission here since then has expanded beyond wanting to teach art to wanting to help others create the level of impact that they want to create in life. And that's exactly our vision for 2024. If you've been part of Elevate, you would be knowing that Soulflow is offering more than just art classes, offering more than journaling classes even. You're offering a whole lifestyle transformation. How many of you are part of Elevate here, comment in I? By the way, notice how this heart is coming here. So you can, you don't have to fill or complete it inside this. You can kind of end at the bottom of the door. You can do the heart here. And notice how I'm stopping it below the second line. Simi was here, Anshul was here, Kirti was here. Amazing. Superb. Yes. So now if you have done this heart, we can now follow the next step where I'm just going to make a few lines that kind of gives it that perspective effect. Since I'm not drawing anything in, since I'm not drawing any detailed perspective scene here, I don't have to follow any rules of the perspective. And there's an easy way to just make the perspective lines. You start with one slanting line here. Here as well, from below the door, you do another slanting line. You make one slanting line, you make another slanting line. And here as well. Create another parallel line. And another one. We do the same here. So here I'm not really going in depth on perspective. Offering in depth on perspective. I'm just creating parallel lines. You can just adjust the heart along here. Now I'm going to start drawing these clouds. So how to draw clouds? Well, I create a bubble. Okay, I'll just zoom in. I create a bubble. And outside of it, I create another bubble. And another bubble. And these bubbles, see these half bubbles that I draw, they can extend beyond this as well. They can extend beyond this and you can create these large bubbles. These half bubbles that is just filling it in. And we keep drawing these in different sizes. Some small, some big. We bring them out of this and we keep doing this. Occasionally along here, there are these clouds that I draw as these connecting circles followed with a triangle. Like the way we used to see clouds. Here you go. I add another cloud, connecting the cloud. Is this triangle? clouds. Here we go. I draw this cloud, I draw another one. See, you can either form these large full circles or these half circles, you can keep putting them, keep adding them. This we later, as we ink this, you're going to see that we're going to follow a way where we're going to ink these. And it's going to look extremely beautiful. Extremely beautiful it's going to look. So as we keep drawing this, I want you to just imagine all the things that you want to do in 2024. All the things that can literally take you to cloud nine. All the goals you have set, all the promises you have made. All the amazing things that you're going to be doing. These clouds, we just keep playing it here. Now, while many of you know that I started by following my heart, what many of you also don't know is that it wasn't easy, not just in the sense of having the courage, it wasn't also easy to have a structured approach. To just get started knowing what to do, even the basics on how to operate a Zoom, all of these seemed like huge, huge things for me. And it wasn't until I started actually taking these, taking these steps that I realized that, hey, they're not as difficult as it can be. And they can be taught. In fact, every single thing from what to teach, how to teach, how to keep improving, how to understand more, how to develop everything, just the way that I learned it from different sources can be taught. And that's the vision at which we are working for in 2024. We are on a mission to creating many more change makers and impact creators. And we want to personally guide them into doing that. How many of you think it would be really, really cool if something like that happened? That you could be a part of a close community where all of you are going to work towards creating impact. And you're not just going to be learning, you're going to be using the knowledge to change others' lives. How many of you think that'd be really, really cool? Commenting cool in the chat box. Notice how I'm keep on adding these clouds.
It's an apple cloud. It looks like an apple
cloud. I'll be telling you more about it in the end. And here, we're going to keep doing this. So now that I have this frame, I have this heart, I have the clouds, I can start this background here, here. in here as well. I'm going to keep drawing some lines in the bottom, but notice here, as I draw these horizontal lines, I'm going to leave slightly more gap with each of the lines. So here I've left this much gap. Here I'm going to leave slightly more gap. These lines are not equidistant. Make note, these are not equidistant. You're going to actually leave more gap as we go ahead.
Now that this initial structure is done, please hydrate. And let me remind you, stay till the end. I have a very exciting Valentine's Day bumper offer coming up, which I think Niranjan also doesn't know.
Yeah.
So it's a big surprise. I will announce in
Wow.
the end. So keep tuned. In fact, no, I can't control myself. I will give
You
the
wanna tell it
surprise
now?
right now.
Okay, so take over the screen. That's while all of you hydrate, you can listen to what's in Celestis. I don't know what it is. It's new for me also.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So as many of you know, wait, let me show you. As many of you know that we are starting the LifeCraft program and we already have our first batch ready, but we decided and we are starting this Sunday itself. How many of you platinum members are there? So platinum members, we had offered an option to upgrade them and many of the platinum members like Midhun, like Navanita, Rohan, Priyanka, Preeta, Maitri, Shweta are already part of this LifeCraft, which is a journey, 3-month journey into you becoming your content creator or an influencer or a coach, learning how to make a passive income, learning how to take your passion into a profession. So in this journey, we already have people, but here is the Valentine's Dhamaka. We have space for more, which means we are taking two more candidates to enter this, and so that we can work on you on the phase 1, phase 2. So if you are somebody who wants to build your own passion, who wants to, get an income source, who has been wanting to get that kind of push into building this is the program for you, because we are going into full phase. We have stopped any other classes. We are just going to work on LifeCraft and Zen Gym for the time
In
being.
fact, the level of detailing
Yeah,
and
but we
planning
showed the planning.
that we have been doing is pretty insane. Tuesdays typically is our off days, no? But we
just could not resist.
we just could
Show
not
this.
resist.
So we have a full plan ready for all of you to come in and to do this. Just show them the schedule once.
Yeah. So in fact, the level of detailing that we are going into in terms of what all sessions to hold on which all days, what is going to happen on week one, what are the different timings and everything, all the content.
This is for people who want to take their life on. Okay, they think they need a life reset. They want to completely get onto it, work on each. Can you show them the areas which we'll work on? So book filling. So we will be having these morning 6 a.m. check-ins for you as well as evening classes. So we are going to work on health, relationships, doubt clearance, finances and career. So you will get ample time to fill this with us. Then apart from this, we will have, can you go to the next week? Yeah. Then we'll start on your tech upskill week, which will be taking you into an area into how to get 10x productivity, how to upskill yourself. We will have master classes on all of this at a pace in which you can do. If you can spend, say, 2 hours every day on yourself, if you can spend 2 to 3 hours of yourself to create for yourself a profession, to create for yourself a new passion, this is what our offering for you is. This
is our year's journey, is our life's work that we are condensing into something that you can learn. And I feel
and you can become a coach or a creator in not 1 year, in not 6 months, but 3 months. That's our promise to you. And we can do this for you. So I am going to draw.
Oh, by the way, I want to ask one thing. How many of you think that this way of taking notes, making notes, also something that you want to learn? How many of you here want to create such mind maps, putting down all your ideas, brainstorming it in a way that, and you want to present it that way as well?
How many of you want to do this?
This is also something that we'll be learning.
But here is but the surprise is not this. You don't know about this. How many of you want to know about the surprise? This is the ordinary only. What is the bonanza in it? What is in this? How many of you want to know this? Okay. All right. So the surprise is that we are going to do something we have never done tomorrow. We have never done. We are going to give one free pass to somebody or this entire journey.
Oh,
So I have a form filled with me. I'm sending you the form.
okay.
We will do based on your form, based on some of luck also. One of you will be getting this absolute journey for free, which is for 30,000 for anyone outside the Zengem community and 10,000 for those who want to upgrade from the Zengem and get through this. We have fantastic programs planned for the Zengem as well, but for those who want a dedicated journey, who want to start their day with us, end with us, as well as with the community, this is the program for you. And tomorrow in the Valentine's Day class itself, we will share this with you, how you can be this. So I've shared the link. Can you copy paste the link here as well?
Sure.
Superb, Achal. Yes, then go for it.
Share it in the.
I have put it in the groups. Yes, it's in the Teams Outlook group. So fill this form today because of course it's getting announced tomorrow. So the deadline for this is tomorrow 8 a.m. Fill this form. There are some questions that you'll go through. It is basically, can you just open the form and show them?
Form. Did you share the form in the?
Yes, I've shared it here also in the chat. Yeah. Can you go to the form? No, can you go to the form, please? So these are some basic questions that will determine your eligibility for the program, whether you are a correct fit, whether this program is a correct fit for you. So what do you do currently is your profession. If you're a homemaker, are you pursuing? What are you studying? If you are part of any of our existing communities, because then you get a discounted rate for this. So I will contact you with that. Which stage of this journey are you in? What are some challenges you are facing? How much time can you give every day? What are the end results that you expect from this program? If you are whether to how serious are you about the program and you're ready to invest in tools, website, ads, Instagram, learning yourself, maybe a chat GPT upgrade, get into that stage of this. Then what are your timings free? And we would get to you. This is the section I want to give you more time in. I want you to spend time in. What are the end results you are expecting? Then about what are the challenges that you currently face. Don't take all of them. Think very clearly at your biggest challenges. What describes you best? And after that, we will reach out to you. Okay. So do fill the form, finish this drawing, fill the form. In the end, I will give you time and one of you will get this really nice chance to start this. You could be a part of if you want. With that tracking board on how their performance would be, how there would be. So you could be the next name on this. See, let's draw more.
Fill the form, win amazing prizes.
Let me see how many of you are going to fill the form. Comment in I if you are going to fill the form. Make a small commitment now, right now, if you're going to fill the form today.
So we know that, what do you say? If no one answers, we know that anyways we should withdraw this because no one really wants
Maitri,
this.
Preeta, you are already part of it and you have already filled the form. Don't worry. Alisha, Ananya, Kirti, Disha. Super.
So now here, I'm going to start forming small designs and things that sort of look like a maze. I'm going to start with, it's going to uncover the secret maze of your heart. So just like we did in the Zen lines, I'm going to do this. We'll create these parallel paths. Creating this here, this pathway. We'll create this. Let's just simplify the maze. Don't want to spend too much time. Create these plans and these paths, showing these different pieces. They're going to look like different pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. That's what a hard is sometimes. It's very interesting little. We'll keep doing this. Why go? That created the heart. Let's create the small impression of the person here, starting with the head. It's you. You are walking towards in the direction of self-acceptance. So create this upper body with this shape. Then I draw this lower body here. That. You can change this if you want. You can give this person a skirt if you want. You can change this to give it a sari if that's what you want. You can keep changing this. Make it you. I'll give this person a hat and a side bag, a fanny pack by the side. It's now created the person. Once it's all done, I want you to comment in done. D-O-N-E done. It's now that we're going to start inking. Inking of the details. Ready? So comment it done after you've drawn this. You can change the maze layout. You can draw a different design if you want. You can even do a Zentangle doodle if that's what you want. Sort of like kind of create these three elements. And you can draw these. Yes. So Ananya, Kirti, Shweta, how about others? How many of you have finished this? Comment in done. Oh, let me just create the shadow for this person. Few minutes more. I'll wait for you.
Thank you for all those who filled the form. I will go through the form and try to reach out. In fact, we might have to extend the deadline. So many entries are coming.
Do fill the form. All right. So now that it's done, amazing. So now here, I'm going to start outlining these. I'm going to start inking with outlining these. So let's just use our pens and let's create an outline for the drawing. Yes, answer. If the desire is strong enough, it will manifest. I can just creating this shadow like form here. Outside of this, I'm going to start starting this outline. One, keep drawing outlines. Starting these. Notice how I move the pen nice and smooth, constantly gliding. A lot of people ask me from where I learned to draw. I learned from multiple sources. My first art teacher, I remember it was in UKG. When I had my first art teacher, it was kind of like home tuition. And unfortunately, I don't have any of those sketchbooks with me.
I, on the contrary, never took any drawing class.
Is it?
Like, yeah, I used to go to drawing classes, but they used to make me draw inside the box. I've always been a person to draw outside the box. So I couldn't.
That's what happens. In a lot of art classes, they give you a card and then they ask you to draw out of that card. And time to time, the instructor comes and he sees. So one art class is where that made a lot of impact in my life is what I joined when I was in second standard. I was in Chennai and the sir's name was Amalu. So that's a place from where I made max. I learned a lot. In fact, a lot of things, even the things that I say, funnily enough, the things I say about dripping, movement, everything that I learned at that time. And this is like what, 20 years ago. So he was a really old man then, but I learned a lot from him. And he was super encouraging. Super
A good
encouraging.
mentor can really change
Really
your
change
life.
your life.
Just think if
Absolutely.
you
Just
did not have him, then maybe you would have never considered being an artist.
Never considered. In fact, probably not.
Most of my school teachers said I wasn't good at art because I would do something crazy, not follow their instructions, and I did not take it very hard into art and pursue it. So good mentor really makes I'm envious of you.
Makes a huge difference being in that environment. And one of the best things is that in second standard, I did my first art exhibition because of him. He was so encouraging of what I was doing that he did an art exhibition, featured my work as well. And oh, Nazo, it was another class like this, in fact. But things just clicked. So, it was working in that environment, in the presence of such a mentor that made a huge impact. And it's because of these mentors in my past that I believe a lot in coaching, the way coaching can transform your life. So now that I've drawn these, I'm going to start drawing these clouds as well the same way that I had drawn outside. I'm just going to draw outside for these clouds. See, notice many of these are small curves. So who's that most impactful teacher in your life? Answer, that's really cool. Maths class. See, I draw these curves.
Nazim, that class was not impactful for him. No, that is right. It's impactful for me only. No, he for me, for him, I was just one of the other students.
Draw these curve, these circles. Notice how I don't have to complete them, but I can just follow them. And in order to avoid monotony, I make them small and big. Oh, it was one of the classes in ancient India paths. I remember that.
Wow, we do life.
Life itself, experience and learn. Wow, that's some deep philosophy there. Draw these curves. Yes. Draw these curves. Drawing these shapes for the clouds. You can see that as you go on the outside, the shapes tend to become bigger. There are going to be certain parts that is the biggest, then keeps getting small. Draw these clouds. Then apart from art, another great teacher that's greatly influenced me was my dance teacher around 10 years ago. Yeah, it was 2011-12. So I had a dance instructor called Shivalupu, and he was not from around here, but he greatly impacted the way that I saw life and in general my attitude, that the change that it can bring from being an underconfident and shy kid to someone who's not confident. I'm someone who is not afraid of putting themselves out there. That I owe it to this mentor. So the shadow of the person, see, you make this shape and then you just draw the reverse of it, it becomes a shadow. But in the shadow, I don't have to make it very clear. And you can also lengthen it. You can greatly lengthen this thing to just show that the light is coming from far, that creates that impact. All right. All these clouds here. Filling it up with the spaces. And I can keep adding some hearts above. And there you go. Now, before we detail any further, I want you to just take a pause, have some water, and for everyone who's yet to catch up, this is your time. Just take a 2-minute break, have some water, look back into what's happened so far. We've drawn straight lines, we've drawn freehand curves, we've drawn rhythmic lines. Two mediums. So first we use pencil to just make the outline. And then with pens, we add the next layer of inking. So after this, we'll erase the pencil lines and then we'll make the final touches with pen. If I directly started drawing with pens, it wouldn't, mistakes would have been hard to erase. That's the reason. Okay. You can ask your questions. So how to draw skirt? See, in order to draw skirt, you can just add along the bottom like this, and it's a skirt. If you want to draw sari, make it reach till this and it becomes the sari. You can make it wide, you can make it narrow, you can make it lean, anything. All right. So now after this, I'm going to start by filling these gaps. And here I'm going to fill this with Zen lines. So I'm going to draw horizontal lines inside this to create that impact. In fact, I'm going to draw a combination of different lines to create that impact. So here, one line, I'm going to draw parallel horizontal lines inside this, okay? And here, I'm going to fill this with concentric lines. Let's create a different design. Let's try this out. Let's stretch our imagination a little and try and create a different design for each of the block. How many of you are in for this? Yes, ready to stretch your imagination? We're not going to do the same thing. You can do the same designs, or you can also experiment with your own designs. But we are going to fill each style with a different pattern. Ready? Let's go. Number one, number two. Now for this, I'm going to that's the third design. Straight. And notice here I'm keeping it parallel to the side to create that. And here the style. I'm going to create a combination of triangles. This one here, I'm making a spiral. Not concentric square, but a spiral. And here I'm doing some diagonal lines. Here, I'll play along with different set of diagonal lines. And here, I'm going to draw a wave. Notice how it's parallel and curved. Let's just stretch your imagination and see where it can lead you. And here, I can create a pattern of smaller rectangles. Parallel shapes. Just focusing on this. Creating this. I can do a vertical version of this here. There are still some lines here. So for this, doing a different kind of a pattern. Now along the center, I don't want to draw full line, but I just want to kind of create an impact of the race. So by the way, how many of you have done this? Comment in done if you have filled the tiles in different patterns, except for the one in the center. The rest you filled it with your patterns. Comment in done. Okay. Like I said, feel free to experiment with your patterns, your layouts, your designs. And when you're ready, tell me, we'll move on to the next. Now along here, I'm going to draw just some lines to represent like leaving. Notice how I'm leaving along the center to just show the light. Just slightly drawing the floor, leaving the center. Done. Now we're going to fill the maze. And for this, first we draw the outside and then we draw the walls within. Okay. I'm going to start by drawing these external walls. Some of them are partially covered by the clouds, and that's okay. Carefully you do this. Here. Let's complete this outline, this first external wall. And just like how we did in Zen lines, we're going to try and keep them parallel. See, that's why we start with the Zen lines. It's a practice. Let's complete these walls. Carefully constructing these. Complete all of the walls, but at the same time, leave some gaps such that it looks like a maze. And as you do this, the more careful you are, the neater you can make it. It's easy to just scribble something in the name of a wall, but the real fun lies when you try and get the walls as equal as possible. You pay attention to the gaps. And over anything, you maintain your composure. Carefully drawing each of the walls and trying to connect the lines. Right. So the pen that I'm using is a fine liner pen. The fine liner pens are technical drawing pens that you can use, and they have a smooth buttery ink. They come in these different sizes 05, 01, but you don't need a lot of sizes, just any size will do. And that will help you really get that buttery ink feel. If not, you can use a gel pen. You can use any pen, you can use an ink pen, anything that gives you a smooth flowing ink. That's what you need to look for, a smooth flowing ink. And once it's done, once this path is made, we can now create we can fill this with some diagonals and lines that I'm drawing really close. So this kind of creates this effect that there is some depth, darkness, perhaps a wall of some sort in this. I'm going to carefully draw these. Try and get these lines as consistent as possible. Carefully, just filling these straight parallel lines. And as you do this, after a while, you just stop losing track of time. You're simply involved in the process. You're not thinking about anything else. You're just losing yourself in the process. The key is patience. The key is to sit, to look, and to be patient. So I'm part of a mastermind, and there I had the good opportunity of meeting a lot of really great coaches. So people from different fields. We met people from the finance, health, and one thing that surprised me the most is many of them struggle with sitting for more than 1 hour in a place. They were all really efficient, but still many struggled, let alone 2 hours, sitting with a single-minded focus for more than an hour. Even half an hour was difficult. They need a constant stimulus. Where it came naturally for me. And I thought about it. What could be the reason? The answer simply is that I practice drawing. My background in art. That really helped me build qualities such as patience, being able to focus, paying attention to the moment, and more than anything, doing something at hand with attention on the effort rather than the result.
And coaching is just a method to deliver it. His love for passion is art. Even before you think of the question of teaching, coaching, the first is what do you truly love? What do you truly spend your life doing effortlessly? I was talking to one of the Life Club members, Midha, today. For her, it's travel. She enjoys traveling so much. And if she can put this into, and she will put this passion into a profession in Lifecraft in 3 months, and there, take that first step this week towards yourself. Where does your heart want you to go? What does your inner child want you to truly do? Figure out this entire week. Tomorrow, same time at 8 p.m. What time? 8 p.m.
8
We
p.m.
will meet again.
And now, after this, I can fill this person here. So for the person, I'm just going to fill it with much more closely placed lines so that I can get the dark effect. See, as I draw these lines close together, they start to look dark. They start to look dark. I'm now going to add some detailing into the clouds. So once all of this is done, as for the clouds, I'm going to pay attention to some of these clouds, and just inside this, I'm just going to draw a few darker lines. See here, as I draw this darker lines inside some of these, this has a different kind of a depth altogether. See here, I have this, so you can think of this in different layers. And in between a layer, you fill it with dark lines that mimics this pattern of the clouds. So you can think of each of these clouds in different layers. So here's a layer, here's another layer, here's a third layer. In between each of these, I'm just going to fill it with this pattern. So in between each of these clouds, I just draw these patterns here. Feel free and draw more of these repeating patterns, and that create a fairy-like atmosphere. Make sure you distinguish this border between the heart and the clouds. You can draw more lines to really kind of separate this, like this outline that divides the cloud versus the heart. You can really darken so that it creates this feeling of separation.
I feel on cloud nine.
So in between these areas, you'll just intuitively draw. You don't even have to follow the exact steps, the exact lines that I'm doing. You'll just intuitively draw. So between these clouds and the heart, just going to divide these. So make sure you separate this. Bring the separation that really makes a big difference. You bring the separation between these clouds, you bring the separation between these layers, and you will see they create this dream-like atmosphere. This division we can really darken. And along this bottom, I'm just doing a little bit of shadows. Where there is a lot of gap. Can fill it with these cloud patterns. Eating these small hearts here. Look lovely. And here you go. Just complete these parts here. I'm just drawing a few vertical lines to kind of show like they're in to create a sense of depth. Putting the sign. And hey, let's not forget erasing off, scaling up the drawing.
And also don't forget that this is a limited offer itself and we already have 7 people. The form ends when 10 people have filled the form or till 8 a.m. We really want to continue this journey with you. We want you to be a part of the next Life Crafter. These 3 months go into full pace accelerated program and turn your passion into your profession. I have dropped the link. Can you just drop the link again, Niranjan? Here? Just copy paste. Just paste it. Paste, simply paste. Yeah, I've dropped the link again and it's in the groups as well. Please, I want more and more of you to be part of this. So you got this.
There you go. So let's see. Let's have a look at everything that you've done. Looks magical, isn't it? Clouds and the maze and the walkway, this effect of light leading into it. In fact, for everyone who wants to do more, you can even add a layer of cross-hatching inside the sand that will create a much more a feeling of depth inside this. So just give it another 5 minutes and you can fill this with cross-hatching at your own pace. Let's go, guys. Let us go. All of it on your cameras, and I would love to have a look at what you made. All of it on your cameras. I want to see. Let's have a look at all of your hardscapes. Yes, all of you. Show me your drawing. I see Ananya's. Nice.
And here's wishing you
I love
all
Shweta's.
the best that each one of your hardscapes come true. And we are not done today. We have tomorrow. We have day after tomorrow. Please do come for the Valentine's special. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, you can complete it. Okay. So, all right. So that's for today. Thank you so much for being a part of today's session. Really hope you enjoyed it. It was really nice, going back in time, sharing a lot of instances from the past. And I look forward to seeing you all in the journey ahead.
And tomorrow as well.
Come.
I'm so excited to meet you tomorrow as well. See, the stage is set, the Valentine's party is in. Just bring yourself, wear something pink, wear something red, wear something you would wear on a Valentine date and come. How many of you will come? Tell me.
All right, everyone. See you. Good night. Yes.